Hi, my name is Bob Langer, and welcome to another segment of Antiques, Art, and Valuables. Today we're going to talk about the full-page ads we've been inundated with for the past year or so. These are the ads which state that people, auctioneers, whatever, want to buy your gold, silver, jewelry, antiques, coins, stamps, anything, just about anything you have available. How does one avoid this? How does one know that they're getting the greatest return on what they have? Well, if you're responding to the ads, I must say there are caveats. Be very, very careful. I know a woman who responded to one ad where she told the people who placed the ad she had 100 Krugerrands for sale, which her husband had left her. At the time she wanted to sell them, the price of gold was up around $1,900 an ounce. She invited the man into her home, and he offered her $100,000. She felt it was a very generous offer, especially since he indicated that he would give her cash the following day. She called me on the phone, and with a quick calculation, I told her that her 100 Krugerrands had a value of $187,000, and that the first thing she has to do was to cancel any appointment she might have. I also told her that she should get into a computer and check out websites for people who buy not only gold, but gold coins. Krugerrands, each Krugerrand has a value, at the time gold was $1,900, had a value of about $1,900 an ounce. That's what a Krugerrand was worth. So he was offering her $85,000 less than what she had. Where does one go when they have items to sell? First, let me segue to auction houses are inundated with items. Where do they get them from? It's called the 3 Ds. They get them from death, debt, and divorce. Everything winds up there. The better items go extremely well. Now, sooner or later, all of us will be disposing of our goods in whatever way. Estates, giving them away to children. We all have stuff. And it's the stuff that inundates our homes. And we really have items which are valuable, but we don't know what the values might be. Now, how does one determine a value? If it's something that you've collected over a number of years, it may be worth considerably more, and it may not be. For example, items like certain porcelainware, Hummel, Swatch watches, they've all lost value. It was a fad. And Hummels have become a fad. There's one auctioneer in Florida who had 140 Hummels coming up at auction. He was asking between $200 to $300 each, but the starting bids were $50. I don't know where it went to. Now, I think the best way to dispose of whatever you have at top dollar is to take photos of them and to send the photos either digitally or the photo itself to auction houses. One thing which you would have to do is to call the auction house, see what you have, and they will guide you through the maze of how to dispose of it. Once you get to an auction house, then you have to negotiate commissions, because all auction houses have different commissions. The greater the item will bring, the lower the commission. Now, in Florida, many of the auctioneers get 30%. In New York and California, many of the auctioneers get 20%. In California, some of them will go as low as 6% if you're selling items which are gold or even Chinese currency. Chinese currency has bringing in has been bringing in extremely high prices. Now, I'm going to go over some of these items which people have left for me to look at and to give an appraisal of. We're going to first start with this item, which is a 19th century bronze from Kerala, India. Very heavy, probably 19th century. At auction, you could expect it to bring maybe $400 to $500. A dealer would resell it for $1,000 to $1,500. Stamps are a little tricky and do not do as well as stamps of the 19th century. These are all there are about maybe 400 plate blocks here, which I've attempted to go through, and I've done research on it on behalf of one of our residents here. If you went out to buy them, you'd probably pay maybe $3 or $4 each. If you go out to sell them, you're not going to get more than 25 or 50 cents each. So with a number here of 400, you would probably pay $1,000 for a lot of this nature if you went to buy them independently. But if you go to sell them, I don't think you're going to get more than $100 or $150 for them. This piece is a little tricky. It was alleged to have been bought in Central America, and it's supposed to be jade. I tested it. I won't test it for the camera because I have to scratch it again. I think it's a soft green stone, and I'm a little skeptical of the age. I think it's more of a 20th century piece than of a pre-Columbian piece, all of which these pieces are. All of these date to maybe 100 to 200 BC, including this dog, which is Mexican. It's called a Colima dog. These pieces will probably be priced by a dealer at maybe $800 to $1,200 each, and yet you could probably pick them up at auction for maybe $200, maybe $300 each. These pieces were collected also by a member, and they are brass pieces of gold weights. Each one of these was made in order to weigh gold dust, and that is a specific number of ounces of gold dust. They're African. They're called Akam, I believe, A-K-A-M. They are geometric. Many pieces were made to reflect animals, but a specific weight. And they were given as gifts to young men who were getting married so that they would enter a trade in which these may be used. All of these are brass, and I just noticed this. This is not brass. I think this is bronze. And I think this is a very, very early piece. And besides this piece, which is more valuable than the others, this may be just as valuable. You'd probably have to spend about $50 to $150 for each of these as a collectible. One thing I'd like to bring to your attention is our buy-sell on Channel 63. It is meant to help people such as yourself in disposing of items which you'd like to get rid of. Now, after you get rid of it, what do you do with it? Well, you could take it off as a tax deduction. Check with, correction. If you're giving it to a charity, you could take it off as a tax deduction, and in that case, check with your accountant as what's legal for you. With the buy-sell, it's meant to help you disposing of your own goods at a price which is equitable between you and the individual buying it. If you'd like my help, drop off a photograph or get my phone number through BICA, and I'd be happy to put a price on it for it so that you could dispose of it more readily. A couple of things about the auction market. You really have to be careful what you have and what you think you're giving away. Last year, a young woman walked into an auction house in New York with a 5 or 6 inch high antique head, which was alleged to date back to 500 BC. The auction house didn't know what it was, put a value of $3,000 to $5,000 on it, but would not take it because they only work on $5,000 or more estimates. She took it to an auction house in the suburbs of New York. They took it, she told them the story, they put a $3,000 to $4,000 estimate on it, hoping that it would bring two. They told her they'd put a reserve of $2,000. This stone head brought $464,000 at auction. It was bought by a museum in Europe. Now, the provenance of this piece was that it was brought in by the daughter of a movie star who was very popular in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. I will give his name because there's no commercial value, he's gone. It was Anthony Quinn. She only told the auction house about this after it was bought, but it went for $464,000. So you have to know what you have. You know, it's like what's in your attic. You may have items which could bring very big bucks. The last thing you want to do, in my humble opinion, is, if you don't know what it is, to give it to a consignment shop, because you're only going to get 50% of the value, and if they don't sell it in 60 days, they lower it 10% again per month, and at the end of 6 months, if you don't read your contract carefully, they take it away. It's theirs. Read your contracts. Watch who you do business with. And in all likelihood, the best thing you could do is to have an album of all of your pieces so that at least your heirs will know what you have and what the value is. It's worth it for yourself to spend $125 or $150 an hour bringing in an appraiser who knows your items, and in that way you'll have a better idea of its value, and when you're ready to dispose of it, you can do what you want with it. So I caution you, watch out for the ads that are in the papers. Watch out for consignment shops, unless you have items you just want to give away. Best vehicle for your disposables are auction outlets. So I hope this segment has made it possible for you to learn something, and I look forward to our visit next time. In the interim, if you have any collectibles you'd like me to look at and to bring along on the camera, I'll be happy to do so. Thank you very much, and have a good day.